All right, looks like we're live here. So looks like we got Daryl here. So thanks for coming, Daryl. Daryl's the first one here. So we'll go ahead here and let some others join, and we'll go ahead and get rolling here in just a moment. Anthony's Fishy Friends is here. How's it going? You crazy? How's it going? Dan Slee's here. How's it going? Let's see who else we got. So, got about seven watching now. So, give it another minute or two, and we'll get it rolling here. All right. So while we're waiting, did anyone here get any new fish this weekend? So I know it's Monday, but let's see if you guys anyone got some fish. I did pick up quite a few. There was a we'll talk about that here when we get into it. But I did pick up quite a few fish. So so yeah, we'll get going here in just a moment. So, all right, all right. Nope. Dansley was strong at the auction. Got some plants though. Some Donis Petricola were testing me. I'll put it this way: I was not strong, but I was very happy with what I got, and I was thinking that once I saw what was there, I was definitely not going to be strong. So I'll go ahead here. Looks like I've kind of got a small crowd tonight. That's fine. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. Oh, here we go. Got some albino blue guppies from King Lee. Okay. Cool. That's awful loud. I don't know. Can you guys hear the drain? One of the drains is doing its thing. So auto water change goes off at 9. So didn't realize it was that loud, but I guess it is. So yeah. So what I'll say is got some more rare live bears. So we'll start off with that actually. So yeah, that's really bad. All right. Well, I can't do anything about it right now. So basically, started off this week. Vinovsky Tanks here. How's it going? Hold on one second. Something's bothering me. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry. We're good. One of the drains over here is making like a loud noise. It's water change time. So with that being said, so started off with the local fish club meeting here Thursday night, and that was good. So was brought in some zebra obliquitans for the Breeders Award program, and was pleasantly surprised. Ended up getting a higher award level than I thought they were. So I thought they were an A. They're just a mouth-brooding haplochromis, but they gave me C level. So that being said, I do have to write an article now about these guys and tell them what's going on. So that should be interesting. So I will share that with you guys once I do write that. I've got to write it the next couple weeks to get credit for this year. So that will be coming out. So that was, and then the speaker was Chris Carpenter. He's from Grand Rapids, and he spoke about shell dwellers. There are quite a few very interesting shell dwellers out there, so I did learn quite a bit. So had a bit of fun with that. Hung out with Derek. So I bet you a lot of people here enjoying the nice weather. It's nice here today in Michigan. It's in the 70s, so drain's awful. So, all right. So that being said, Saturday night, got to go. Went over to Grand Rapids, and Dan's Fish was speaking about killifish. So, got to meet Dan. Bought quite a few fish from Dan since we've kind of set up the fish tank barn. So I really do enjoy his streams on Wednesday night. So if you guys are watching Wednesday night, Dan goes 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 Mountain, where he's at. But got to meet Dan, hang out with him, which was a lot of fun. So I actually did join the Grand Rapids Club, kind of just to come out every, a few times a year, kind of check out the speakers and stuff. So got to meet Dan. So Dan, I don't think gets out a whole lot from where he's at in Wyoming. So I did take the opportunity to meet him, and then I will recommend. Hey Pam, how's it going? One thing I will highly, highly recommend is if you ever get a chance to go to the Grand Valley Aquarium Club, I will highly recommend you go there. They probably had about 100 bags for their not so mini auction, which is the auction at the end of the meeting. So that was pretty awesome. So I did, and there was quite a few rare things there too. So I'll tell you some of the rare things I didn't get, but they did have some rare bettas, and I don't know the name of them. Dan was pretty excited about them. He said that those, they generally sell for 24 to 30 bucks, 25 to 30 bucks on his website. But yeah, so there was like 3 pairs there, and one of them was a proven breeding pair. So definitely a lot of good stuff there. But I will show you guys the new fish here in an upcoming video. So that being said, this week, while there's no fish club meeting, there is the IFGA Guppy Show here in Detroit. That's going to be Saturday and Sunday, with Sunday being the auction. And the auction starts bright and early at 9 p.m. So that should be a lot of fun. So a little early, but Oh, yep. So Candy's here. Candy, thank you for making it. So for those of you who don't know, Caleb's been going through some stuff, so please keep Candy in your thoughts, prayers, etc. Hopefully everything works out well. But yeah, so thank you, Candy, for coming. Do appreciate it. So for those of you who just joined, kind of a recap here, real quick. Did end up going to the local fish club meeting. Bapped the Asta tilapia lata fasciata, which is the zebra obliquidans, which is a Victorian cichlid. Small Fry Aquatics is here. How's it going? So I definitely need to. I will share the article with you guys. I have to write it for like the club publication, so it's kind of interesting. I was very surprised that they leveled that up to a C, but like, okay, I'll write the article for it. So that being said, went to the Grand Valley Aquarium Club. Saw Dan's Fish speak about killifish. Bought quite a few things at the auction, which you guys will see in a later video. And then this weekend's going to be the IFGA Guppy Show. So I'm going to go to the auction on Sunday. So if you guys are in the Metro Detroit area, like guppies, go ahead, check that out. It's in Romulus near the airport. I'm going to be there, and I believe Derek is still going to come with me. So that should be a lot of fun. He actually may be the first visitor, first Aquarius visitor to the fish tank barn. So that'd be pretty cool for him. So I actually got to clean it up in here a little bit too. So that being said, I will do the sort of weekly plug for the MBI. So if you guys are in the Metro Detroit area, July 26th through 28th, Aquarium Thoughts is here. How's it going? So speakers have not been announced yet, but the gentleman who is putting it together, they do it every Saturday. So this is definitely a great event if you can make it. So once the speakers are announced, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But I want to keep that on your guys' radar if you're in this area. So something I'm a part of. Really enjoy it. I've been doing it for 10 years now. So I went to the first one, and I'll probably be at the last one, whenever that is. So, all right, let's go ahead now, and we'll hit the kind of what's going on here in the fish barn. So, been doing a little bit of work on a lot of the plumbing stuff, which I didn't take any pictures of that. It's pretty boring, unfortunately. But I did rearrange some stuff in terms of auto water change. So if you guys remember the Lake Tanganyika tank I set up, there I put another tank next to that, and I got those plumbed into the auto water change. So there's going to be some changes up here as well. You saw some of them in the last video. Did move some fish as well. Moved some of the gadiids into some bigger tanks over here in the corner, over that way. So, unless someone wants to give me new plane tickets. Yeah, unfortunately, like most aquarium shows, runs on a kind of a shoestring budget. But if you can make it out here, I'd be happy to have you. I don't know how far you are away, Aquarium Thoughts, but you can always road trip it too. Andy's here. How's it going? So, all right. So we've got that. Took care of kind of the week in fish. All right. So we're gonna go now. Let me do this. All right. We're gonna promote that. And let me go here, and let's talk a little bit for a minute about what I did yesterday. Yes, I do have quite a few gadiids, small fry aquatics. I've been sort of amassing them as I can find them. I think it's one of those things that are pretty important here in the hobby. Preservation is one thing that's pretty important to me. I'll flip back to the Marine Breeding Initiative for a second. Kind of ties in here. So, Dodroi, I do not have Dodroi. That's one I don't have yet. Quite a few other ones. I've not come across the Xenotoka Dodroi yet. So I probably should do a video at some point on all the gadiids. But kind of interesting. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, if I were to ever do a talk on like my time in the aquarium hobby, it would be almost kind of like clownfish to gadiids, because it's kind of like my journey with clownfish is kind of the same journey now that I'm starting with the gadiids. A little different in the fact the one's freshwater, one's saltwater, but I can't tell you how many brown clownfish I've purchased in my life that were all similar but yet different. So some of the rarer ones like the Alardes. What's the other ones I've got? The Tricinctus, stuff like that. But definitely, they're an endangered species, so definitely if you guys have the means to keep them, please do so. I've found them to be pretty hardy. I don't lose them. There's one species here that I'm a little bit worried about. Hey, King and Queen Cichlids, how's it going? So, if you guys want to learn about Dovi, check out King and Queen Cichlids video. So definitely check that out if you're into that sort of thing. He's got quite a thing. He's got over 4,000 views on that now. But Aquarium Thoughts, back to that. Back to the gadiids question. Yeah, most of those are endangered. So if you can keep them and have the means to keep them, please do so. They're endangered, and honestly, I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think a lot of the people who are keeping them are starting to get a little bit older. So I think, we need to kind of keep the mantle going a little bit on these guys. There's Andrew Prokowski out there. Jeremy from Sergeant Tank is out there, keeping them now. But I think we need to kind of make a concerted effort, I call it the next generation, to keep these fish, because they're hurting a little bit out in the wild. So definitely something to keep in mind. So that being said, Mr. B's here as well. How's it going? So let me flip now, and I'll talk to you guys about what's going on here in the fish tank barn in terms of the tanks. So this was the latest project on Monday. As you know, some of the saltwater fish have kind of petered out a little bit. So definitely kind of deciding what I want to take, where I want to take the fish room now. So I think I'll always have a big display saltwater tank. Dylan Martin's here. How's it going? So I can't really, how do I want to put this? I don't think I could ever, I can't bring myself to tear down the 245 and make that into something else, freshwater. I just can't do it. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do. So I still have the 2 butterfly fish in there. So I'm going to have to step my game up a little bit on that tank. Just haven't gotten there yet. But this was the other saltwater tank, which is the 120-gallon plywood tank. So I've torn this down and rebuilt it. So it has a sand substrate in it now. So I've been using this. I found some sand at Home Depot, and I'm going to test it out. So I've been using it here on a couple of the tanks upstairs as well. And so far, so good. I don't find any real issues with it. But this tank right here, got to figure out what I'm going to put in it. So right now, it's kind of built for cichlids. So I may get some bigger cichlids. I've kind of been toying around a little bit with the predator haps a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to go that direction. Maybe just a display cichlid tank. Not sure yet. If you guys have any ideas, what this tank is, it's 120. So it's going to be 4 foot by it's 4 foot by 2 foot. So it's basically the 120. So I think this tank's a little small for predator haps. I think you need something 6 feet. So the only 6 foot tank I have right now is the 245, which can't bring myself to take that down. So Petsotics is here. How's it going? See who else is here. Mr. B. Thank you for sharing it out, Mr. B. So tore this down yesterday, set it back up. So as you can see here, let's grab the pointer. Water was still cold in this picture. You can see some condensation here on the glass. This is reef rock that I normally use for all of my cichlid tanks. I have more reef rock than you would ever care to know. In here, that's the old return pump. This is the new return line, and then I have a sump set up for this as well. So one of these days, I do need to make a video on how I set up my very simple but easy to use DIY sumps, just using the rubber storage bins. So I found them to be pretty effective. So this tank had a pretty nice big sandstorm in it. Once you put the sand in, you get the water in it. It's pretty cloudy, but yeah. So that turned out pretty good. So that's really it there. So all right, Cyclist 23's here. How's it going? All right, let's go ahead now. And then last week I did start a segment while we're sitting downstairs in the basement called the Post of the Week. So I found one that's pretty good. So I'm not going to put names on this or anything like that, but something good to talk about. Yeah, so this is just base rock. These are basically the base rock you can get. A lot of this is Marco rock. But yeah, it's just base calcium carbonate, basically. So it's a really good buffer for the water. So definitely something like that. If you're talking saltwater king and queen cichlids, You can do base rock and live rock together. Like if you're doing a saltwater tank, that's one of the ways you can kind of like seed turn dead rock into live rock. So as if you once you add the piece of live rock, similar to like adding a sponge in a saltwater in a freshwater tank, that the organisms and everything that are in the piece of live rock will do seed all the rest of the rock, if that's what you're looking at. I used to have a reef tank, tore it down, and I've regretted it ever since. I've been toying around with getting another reef tank too, but that might be a next year project. I've got quite a bit on the plate right now. Kind of just getting the fish room sort of finalized here. So definitely, like I said, keep Candy in your thoughts. Caleb's been going through a little bit of an illness, so definitely keep her in your thoughts. So I think he's getting close to the end, though, which I think is going to be really good news when that day comes. So that's what's going on here with this tank for now. Once I decide what to put in it, I'll let you guys know. If you guys have any ideas on this tank, let me know. Sickless 23. I almost just ordered 10 Brachardi, but don't even have a tank yet for them. What the heck is wrong with me? Well, it's called you're a fish nerd, and it just happens. I've done that. And Mandarin. Okay, yep. That was a beautiful tank. Just ran with a protein skimmer. Yep. Scott, just curious, or Liz, how long did you keep the Mandarin for? Those, depending on if you can get a tank raised one or not, those can be pretty tough to keep. So, if you guys have any thoughts on this, let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of 3 years, not bad. That's pretty good, Scott. So definitely, that's good. Those can be pretty tough if you can't get them off of the copepods and stuff like that they normally kind of eat. So, all right, let's go ahead now, and we'll get to the post of the week that I was talking about. Like I said, I don't really pick people to, I'm not going to put the person's name. Probably won't put where it came from, but I will kind of go through Facebook, find something that's kind of interesting to talk about. So let's go ahead and here, and I'll pull it up. So it says here, let's say you just got the perfect tank. What's the first things you buy to start your aquarium? This is good. I thought this was a pretty interesting question. So I think one of the things you have to start with this question are, what are your assumptions? So I'm going to assume two things. One, the tank has a stand. And two, the tank's drilled. Because that would change my answer. So that being said, what are the first three things to buy? All right, first three things to buy. Number one would be a sump. It would have to have a sump. Number two, would be substrate. And then number three would have to be lighting. I know those are boring answers, but that's kind of like you get your base set up right there, right? You've got your filtration. You've got your substrate, which will help with your biological filtration as well. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not the best thing. But you've got a base. And then the third thing is you actually can see what you're doing. So those are my three things. So let me know what you guys think. I thought about this morning. It was like, hey, what am I going to put in here? So it's kind of like, I don't know. But, if this was different, I'm going to change the assumptions now and say it wasn't, say this wasn't drilled and didn't have a stand. And assuming I don't have the drill bits already, because I do, but I would buy wood from Home Depot, screws, and let me see if I have one sitting up here that I would normally use. Nope, I do. I would buy screws. So this is my favorite go-to screw. This is the galvanized 2.5-inch deck screw that I use in every single stand I've ever built. So I'd buy wood, these, and I would also buy a diamond hole saw to put bulkheads in it to start the filtration. Because I do not run tanks that do not have overflows. So every tank in this barn is drilled. That's one of the things that just don't like. Drilled versus non-drilled is as polarizing. All right, so let me go back to that comment. That's pretty good. So, drilled versus non-drilled is as polarizing as salt versus fresh. I'll never drill another tank. So, okay. I guess tell me why not. I'm kind of curious, though. Because I drill everything in this fish room all the time, every day, twice on Sunday. Everything in this fish room is drilled. So, did you have it leak? Did you crack the tank? Which I have done more than once. But I can't live without it. I don't trust hang over the side overflows. Those are just a disaster waiting to happen. If they lose siphon, you're not here. You're kind of out of luck. Yeah, it's a lot of drilling. It's all, they weren't drilled all at once, but the one tank I hate drilling. I hate drilling 10-gallon tanks. Those are the one size of tank that I hate drilling. All right, weakens the glass. Probably true. Problems with screens across the filters, or filters across the hole. Okay. Yeah, that's true. You can lose fish. A lot of times I use it for auto water change purposes. So it depends on the system that I'm running, what I'm using the hole for. So if I'm running a live bearer tank, I'm using it for auto water change only. So basically, you're not running a lot of water through it. So the way that this fish room operates, I have this set up on a Neptune Apex from my saltwater days, is basically 3 times a day. The auto water change system kicks on for 2 minutes. So it runs for about 1:45 seconds. Changes the water goes out of the barn. But the cichlid tanks and stuff and the discus tank I have, those are all run on sumps, and so I do run quite a bit of filtration through those. The reason I do not run sumps with live bearers is live bearers tend to find their way through the hole, like you've said here, and you tend to have guppies in every single tank that you own. And if you're keeping specific strains of guppies, Dirty Tanking's here. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. And so if you so let me go back. So if you're trying to keep guppies that are very they're very specific. So you're keeping a specific strain of guppy and you don't want to mix it with others. They definitely just they'll end up in every single tank. I learned that the hard way when I first started playing around with freshwater. When I moved some of my systems from saltwater, really went down. I literally had guppies in 5 or 6 different tanks. They'd be one here. You'd find them everywhere. So to stop their proliferation, since they seem to be ninjas and avoid the impellers of the pumps, you want to just keep them. I just use that for the drains, but for bigger fish, stuff that won't find its way down the drain as much, definitely just do it for do it. I run the sumps on those. So So I saw some of you guys answered this question up here. So Lacey's Place, you put a lot of faith on timers. I'd love an auto water change system. Change 50% of the time, but each day wouldn't be so bad. All right, so hold on a second, Lacey. I am going to screen share what I use. It is actually not a timer. So let me explain to you the Neptune Apex. So let me log into it. We're gonna have a little. All right. Let me go to the screen share. All right, so this is my Neptune Apex system that I use to run the fish room. So, all right. So what this is just a random temperature probe that is not hooked up to anything right now. Nor is this pH meter. I need to get a new one at some point. What this will tell you are the number of amps each one of the boxes I have downstairs are running. So what the Neptune Apex does is to explain to you a little bit how it works. You can control each individual outlet, and you can tell it what to do. So, for example, we'll go here. Let me find one that's... So, for example here, this is the auto top-off that's for the upstairs. So if you turn this on, you'd see water flowing up here all the way around. I'm not going to do it because they just had a water change. This is the new one I set up for the couple of tanks that I couldn't get to. Let me find the lights. We'll have a little fun for a minute. I don't know why this is on, but we're going to turn that off. So you can slide these bars around too. Let me find... So if you want to turn the lights off behind me, see it go off? So we'll turn them back on. In a minute, here they'll come back on. Or you can even slide it to on too, right? Both put it to auto. It'll switch here in a minute. And so one of the things you can do for your heaters. So I think this is the discus heater. So for example here, so this is the discus heater. You're able to log it. So this fallback is off. So basically what this says is basically its base position is off. The probe name is temperature X6. So that's the temperature probe that controls the heater. And then the on temperature is 81.6. The off temperature is 82.4. So basically what will happen... So what will happen is once the temperature goes below 81.6, it will turn the heater on. And then once the temperature reaches 82.4, it shuts the heater off. And then the reason I keep this little bit of a range to it is that you don't want the heater going on, off, like constantly, right? You want to have a little bit. I give it a little bit of a float. So that's how I keep the discus tank. And then go back here for a minute. So if you go to the temperature thing here, so that's the temperature log, right? So if you come here, so basically you can tell that it's keeping it within the range, right? As it up and down, every, see how it's running here? So you can follow the trends with it. So, going up and down. So, you're not seeing any dips. So, say you're having a problem with your tank. And then, say, something's going on, right? You're like, my fish are acting strange. The Apex, it depends on the system you buy. The high-end one now, this one is hooked up to an Ethernet cable. But the Junior, I think, is $299. Let me look, Scott. Hold on one second. I'm going to flip you guys back to me for just a moment. And I'll look and see how much this costs. Oh. Well, that sucks. Alright, well, they discontinued it. It was $239, but I think they want you to buy the fancier one now. So, hold on. Let me find and see how much it is. Alright. They've... No. Alright. Can I use it? Yes, you use it for all your tanks. Alright, so let me flip your screen and give you some sticker shock here. Alright. So this is the, like, high-end, high-end one. So it's $800. That's not something... I think, let's see what's in here. What it comes with. So it comes with the salinity, which you don't want for salt water or for fresh water. The temperature, pH, ORP. And this one goes through Wi-Fi. The one that I have is the older version of it. That is hardwired. But you can find it probably... yeah, it can. This has everything on it. So it has the cloud-based software, which you guys saw. It has the energy bar. So, yeah, see, it comes with, like, wave pumps and stuff. You don't... Let's see what the other one is. Like, you don't need the wave pump. Let's look at the $500 one. Like, if I were to buy one, a new one, I would probably buy this. So, it has built-in Wi-Fi, temperature, pH monitoring, and much more. Let's see. Yeah, so this one has the base unit, the energy bar, which comes with 8 outlets, the pH probe, the Aquabus cable, the calibration packet for this. So this one's basically pH and temperature. The other one you can do salinity, ORP, which is your dissolved oxygen, as well as honestly, I would go find a used Apex, a used older model Apex online. Someone's got to have those somewhere. Like my old Junior, I mean, I think it was like $250, and then I just added the energy bars as I went. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I can see why they would do that. And then you can reach it out. You can get it on your phone and stuff too. So if you're on vacation, it's almost worth the money, even at $700. It's not something I would buy right now. But yeah, I would check out the Facebook groups and stuff and see if you can get the old hardwired one. which for me works fine. Like, I've had no issues with my Apex Junior, and I will run that thing until it dies, because I don't really want to go back and spend another $500. So, like, this works fine for me. The whole barn is running on this system. So obviously I don't have the pH probes and salinity probes set up right now, but all the water change runs on this, all the lighting runs on this. So let me show you the auto water change programming since we're here. All right, so this is the programming for the auto water change system. Oh, I've cranked this up a little bit. I forgot I did that. Alright, so what happens here is this runs from 7 to 7:04, and then it defers for 15 minutes, so it's still, you cut 15 minutes off of it. And then if the time, same thing, if it's 1 o'clock, and then it runs again at 9. So if you heard it in the beginning of the stream, the gurgling, draining sound, that was it just finishing its water change. How many outlet boxes do I have? I have more than I need. I have so I have 16, so I have 20 outlets total that I can program, and I don't use all of them. I could probably get away with one. So the base Junior comes with a 4 outlet box, which is like super old, and then you can add the energy bars to it. So that's how I run the water change. So let me flip you guys back to me for a minute here. So I guess the one thing we'll talk about, and I haven't hit on this yet, but let's talk about the internet for last week. So I forgot about that. So for guys who were here last week, we were doing this from the basement. We kind of had a malfunction with the internet out here. So unfortunately, we had to make alternative arrangements, we'll call it. So you guys last week, you suggested to check out the cord. You guys are right. So basically, I never found like a chewed up cord, like an animal ate it. Like, cause I kind of, as I was digging the new cord and putting the new cord in. Okay, King and Queen Cichlids is heading to bed. So yep, gotta get to work. So yep, that's gonna be got some big stuff going on tomorrow too. So for sure, but definitely thank you for coming. And thanks for all the kind words as well, and getting the likes and everything else. So I appreciate that, Scott, for sure. So let me see here. Dan, Meanfish9 is here. How's it going? Pam is changing water. All right. Oh, so back to the internet. So I ordered up a new cord on Amazon. I ordered a better quality cord. So I ordered a variable internet cord. So spent a good couple hours Friday night. So it didn't take too long, thankfully, because it's an internet cord, right? You don't have to bury it 8 feet under the ground, like water or anything else. So I just kind of buried it, just under the ground a little bit. So that worked out perfect. Got it run back in here, plug back in, everything's good to go. So that thankfully was easily resolved once I had the cord and the motivation to dig my yard up again. So hopefully this one will stay permanent. So that's good there. So let's go back through the chat here real quick and see what else is up. Swell Fried Quadex. I know what you're doing, but you're likely need to back up a bit and talk through the sensors, the controller, the software, the wiring. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the video. Maybe that's something I'll do next week. We'll walk through the Apex a little bit and kind of how it works. So I've been kind of giving you guys slowly but surely. Let me write that on my board. So got a little board up here that I keep these things at. So we will talk about the Apex. So let's do that. Let's talk about the Apex. I'll walk you guys through it. Kind of a more in depth, for sure. Fish tank barn. I'm assuming more sensors are purchased separately. Sounds like it adds up quick. It can. Something like this, which is I kind of like, is that you can scale it up over time, right? So you don't have to buy. You could spend $1,200 and scale it all up at once, or you can do it differently and just say, hey, I'm gonna buy the energy bar, and then the next month buy a sensor, and the next month buy another sensor. So maybe I'll order up the pH probe, and so we can have some more to look at. Let's see what else is up here. Let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for that. The internet's back in the barn. Motivation such apprentice. Yeah, so Small Fry Aquatics, thank you very much for the advice on that. So I was kind of sitting there, I'm like, well, it kind of came very quickly, kind of after I kind of heard you mention that, I was sort of like, okay, let's go, makes sense. Valley Fit, no. The energy bar is what they call what Neptune Systems calls the outlet bar. So, but that's funny. Yeah, so the cable got damaged. So you guys haven't seen the mud guppy tank or the new chair. So this is the new chair. It's kind of like a racing chair from Amazon. So I'll turn it around here for you. This is the back. And I don't know how much you guys can see of this tank. That doesn't look like you can see a whole. Can you guys see this tank at all right here? It's coming along, but I figured this would be nicer with a little bit more action than the cichlid tank was back here. So, been good, dirty tanking. Been pretty good. Definitely just keep it on here. So one thing too is if you guys haven't checked out the video on the fake Zis filter, check it out. It's kind of an interesting video. So got quite a few comments on that. So there's going to be a follow up to that because some people have some pretty good points, especially TM Aquatics. So I'm going to take a look. I think I kind of figured out how to test what he was asking about. So I'm going to do that for Sunday's video. And then I have another one of my interviews from Aquashella that's going to come out on Thursday. So I'll keep you guys in suspense and we'll see who that is. And then we'll go talk about, and then I can show you the new fish, especially after we get get some more guppies this weekend. So, and then I'm going to be kind of out of new fish for a while. Because one, I'm kind of getting low on tank space. And two, getting a little. I got some other projects I got to do here around the house too. Got to start getting the garage cleaned up, and the garden has been. We talked about last week is a little bit. It's been going a little bit slow, so it's been pretty rainy here. And then Saturday I could have done it, and then instead I worked out here in the barn. So I got to get that done because my daughter's getting a little antsy. And then we got to talk about the summer tub is kind of the same thing. I haven't done anything with that tub yet. So we've been going for about 50 minutes. Valley Fishes likes the guppies. Yes, there's some more. There'll definitely be more guppies coming. So, let's see any other fish you guys have seen to kind of give an update. Santa Maria Endlers are doing well. So it's pretty funny. Dan was talking to Dan on Saturday. And he's like, I thought about bringing some Santa Marias, but I was like, auction. I'm afraid somebody would like sell him for like $5. He's worked for a year and a half to get that strain going. So, he definitely needs to be rewarded for that for sure. So those are beautiful fish. So if you can get your hands on some of those, um, it'd be good. So one of the reasons I bought it too, I kind of something like that where if he ever had a problem and I had him, I would be more than happy to send him some back. That's kind of like one of the ways that breeding can be very beneficial for someone. Like a lot of people do this with corals too in saltwater. So like if someone you give someone a frag. No worries, dirty tanking. I understand. So, but yeah, so someone will frag a coral, give it to a friend. Say their tank crashes. A lot of people will return that frag back. So you kind of keep it as a backup stock too. So I would be more than happy to send Dan back some Santa Marias if he ever lost any. So I think that's one of the things too is kind of keep that line going. If you have it somewhere else in the country too, so it's settled in and you can get going. Let me see what else is going on up here. We are getting quite a few Gadiad fry now, which I'm getting pretty excited about. So I've been finding them slowly but surely here. So we've got the Scyphia francese up here. It's a tank that's right over here. You can't see it obviously. Those have fry in it now, as well as the Scyphia multipunctata. They're down towards the end of this row down here. And then there are also some Crocodon lateralis fry that have been floating around in there too. So we're getting there. We finally made some progress with the Gadiads. So, and then we already had fry from the Gadia atropenis. So it's gonna be kind of fun in August when. So the way our club works is there's like a season. So apparently the Breeders Award Program season runs from basically like August to June. So they have this banquet, and then there's kind of whoever wins. So the seasons go, that way. So it's gonna be kind of fun in August because I'm gonna show up with like 10 bags of fish. Be like, yeah, I've got this one, this one, this one, this one. It's gonna be kind of fun. So definitely looking forward to it. It's kind of funny though. I have not seen any more purple ACI or very many yellow labs, so I might have to pull some of them out. Kind of working on a little bit of a project in my mind anyway. I haven't started obviously any building, but have a little bit of a project to see what I can do to get those. Maybe like pull them out and put them in like a bucket of guppy grass or like a container. Let them spit in the container, and then from there, pull the female back out and then raise the fry. So definitely something I'm interested in. We'll see if I get to that yet or not. Like I said, one of the things I do want to do this summer is do quite a bit more fishing. I didn't get to fish very much last summer, so kind of missed it. I did go once with my dad, but I do need to get out some more. The kids and my wife are going to be gone this weekend, so I might go Saturday night. I don't know yet. We'll see how things go. But got my fishing license. I had to get new tags for the boat, so definitely looking forward to that. So it's 9:53. We're going to go for a couple more minutes, and I think we'll shut it down for the night. I've got a few big meetings at work tomorrow, so I want to get to bed at a reasonable hour. So if you guys don't have any more, let's give it another 5 minutes or so. And if you guys have some questions, let me know. Let's go ahead here if you have any last-minute questions. All right, so it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of questions here. So hold on a minute. So Do you think at 20? Sick with 23. For Shardy. So what are you gonna put in that 120? Dan, I don't know yet. I do not know. I'll have to think about it. That's one I'm gonna struggle with for a while. I've even thought about moving the South American tank in there, and then taking that 150 plywood tank down or redoing it. Hey AJ, how's it going? We were just about ready to end it, but I think we've got a couple questions here. Do you think a 20 long is too small for like 6'7" Vershardi? Hold on one second. I'm gonna say yes. I am not, and I'm the wrong person to. Sigless 23. I'm kind of the wrong person to ask on this. I still have got like saltwater brain, and so my problem is that in saltwater you cannot put as many fish, and so every time I answer a question like this, I probably can put in more than what I said. But let me see. I honestly, Sigless 23. I would probably lean towards 40 breeder, but. Let me. The Lamprologus Bursari. I'd go 40 breeder. I'd go 40 breeder, maybe 29. I would go like I go. Let me see if Candy agrees with me. Oh, 40 breeders too big. Oh, okay. You got size restrictions. Yeah. I have a 20 long sitting over here. You might be able to get away with it. Let me see how big they actually get. Let's take a look. This random website says 15 gallon, but yeah. All right, good. Yeah, I kind of like 40 breeder, but that's just me. So 20 gallons pushing it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I don't know on that one. Anyone got a few G's laying around? No, I don't have any. You're looking at where all my G's went. So, all right. So, anyone else have any last questions? That was a good one. Sickless 23 made me think for a minute. I'm moving to Montana. I think Montana would be interesting to live in. Basement. I don't know. So, yeah, Sigless 23. You might not be able to handle the cold. I think you're in California. I probably could handle it. Maybe, being from a, from tough northern stock up here in Michigan, but thick. No concrete floors. Oh boy. Uh, Fill it with cichlid tanks with heaters. Don't. You know what? There you go. Cichlid's 23. Born. Okay. That I will then. That changes the story a little bit. Cichlids because I will tell you what. If you're in Chicago, the wind going through those buildings, especially like downtown, that is cold. That is cold. And I have a 0 degree sleeping bag. There you go. All right, we're gonna go off the deep end here for a second. Here, let me pull up my Facebook. We want to talk about cold. Go my pictures. Hold on. Alright, we're going to take a look at something here. Sorry here, guys. Just give me a second. We'll find the photo I'm looking for. Where is it? There we go. Alright, we're going off the deep end now. Alright, so if you want to talk about cold, that is Lake St. Clair, January of 2018. So, so this is basically kind of a bay area here. Go out here. This is like late too, but you can see there's like tons of people out here. It's like a shanty town. So this is ice fishing. So let's see what else is in here. We'll have a little fun. I think there's another one here too. Yeah, this is just sitting on ice. Didn't catch anything. What else we got? Yeah, this is a little earlier in the day. And let's see what anything else. No, back to that one. And I did spawn German blue rams, and I never raised them. So we'll leave those there. So I'll flip it back to me real quick. Bathtub. That's a good idea. You could get one of those. You could get one of those toilet things. You never have to water change it. Kiddie pool in the basement. You could do the Intex pool. That one that you kind of got like the PVC. It's about yay tall. That's something we could do. So, all right. I think we're going to shut it down now, though. I do thank you guys for coming out. So stay tuned for the next videos coming out on Thursday and Sunday. And we'll be back here again on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. as always. So some sponge filtered. No outlets apparently. Yeah, so good night, guys. Stay fishy, keep on breeding, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your week, and once again, thank you for coming out.